I was talking about DSR attempting a short in the silver and talked about this 4 hour divergence. So there were many people that jumped on it. DSR actually said, I believe it was that day, that he has never made more money in one day. And, it humbles me. We said, thanks to Coach. So invite you to join us in the room. There's a lot of activity in there. Here's just a quick peek. Jose is going to be posting the Discord link on the video so that if you want to join us, you can. It's free. No one's going to try and sell you a subscription. Okay. So let's talk about silver. And this was a 10 sig event. My long term target was where it went. If anyone said it was going to happen in 48 hours, yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. Who could predict a 10 sigma event? But, maybe it's a lesson that we all could learn about what happens in a parabola. And it's always difficult to, decide where to get out. But, I've been talking about this on Maggie's show, and it's a 9 day. And see the day that, it came off record highs, it held it. And once we got back under 108, that was it. It was history, and we're at targets. Now, a lot of people are talking about that we're going to just, rocket to new highs. This was a car wreck. Okay, this was a car wreck. The market's in shock. It's trying to stabilize. And I do think that we could get a retracement. I don't know about new highs in silver. Um, Maybe back to 95 to 100, and then another wave down. I'm starting to think that we're gonna, before it's all over, trade $60, $55 before it's over. So there's still more left to the downside. In my view, it's a very difficult trade the way it trades now. But this would be a reasonable area if we're going to get a retracement. I see two drives here on the four, and I had this line drawn at 70 a month ago. Okay, you could see why it's important if you just look left. Let me show weekly. Okay, so let's see. I think it was based upon this interday stuff that we had going on here that it held, see? And then we entered this acceleration phase. All right, let's move over to gold. Gold actually, I was looking for 4,600. When people didn't know it was going to crash, some people had talked about that, we could get to 4,900. Then that was ambitious up here. So we actually took out this return line. Uh, Gold, unlike silver, never diverged. See this? So I would think that, if there's a recovery, probably it's going to be led by gold. Although and this was the other tip off, I was talking about silver making consecutive new highs without the gold silver ratio making new lows. It's pretty wild action up here. I think it's probably just, the first wave and we get a pullback, and, there's plenty of room for this to retrace since, the move started from 110. Before it's over, I think we should see maybe 75, 77. So that's my take on the precious metals, that we should have some type of bear market rally, whether we, make one more low for a three drive in silver or not. This is gold silver ratio, but you could see we have two here, right? So maybe it's three, but this may have been enough. Closing under 70 is going to probably take us to our objectives in a hurry, but I do think it'll make a stand here. And I don't think we're going straight to new highs, even though overseas spot was much higher. So everyone thought there was going to be a huge up day in silver. I don't call down almost 4%, a big update. So also when I left you, I talked about the dollar turning, and how the guys in the room helped me out with this because it looked like it could be a three drive on the weekly. I was more focused on the trend break, and we got above this 97 level. I'm sure people are saying to themselves that got stopped out under 96.20, what's the market doing 120 higher? Well, they're still bears, and they have arguments. They have arguments because of this. Look at how we bottom. So it's really going to take to get back in the channel. This line is a channel, would be closes over 98. But I think this was a good step getting back above the wedge line. It was something I talked about on Thursday, and this was Thursday, so there wasn't any great signal about it. I just went with it because no one's long anymore. After 620, no one's long. So I selected shorts in Aussie, and if you're in the room, posted it to sell at 70.60. Up here, I've taken partials. I think that, it probably could have a little lower, but I'm looking to sell recoveries here as well. Also bought the CAD because I thought we'd have some risk off, and this little wedge came into play. We had a little throw over, but say a lot of the room took the signals down there, 35.40, 35.20, and I've taken partials in both, and I have BE stops on both. So I think that we could easily see, well, not easily, but I'll buy pullback still because I think we're going to 37 and a half, which would have been the top of the wedge line up here. 37 and a half, 38. Eventually, I have longer term targets up around 143. So I think a lot of people are going to be left behind. I will say, though, we did not buy. I'm breaking my rules. There were confirmed highs on the Aussie, confirmed highs everywhere in the euro as well. So, you still have to have your stops in. If you got long good in Canada, you had money made, 120 pips, 130 pips, and now you have BE stops on that. Okay, yen, uh, fill the gap. I don't know what to do with it. I lean more towards the short side in the end, but I haven't done anything about it. Okay, so the Aussie and Canada and long dollar were successful. Actually, DSR, who I said was probing the silver up here because we had these 4-hour divergences, and he had a 120 something number, actually posted in the room. I already told you that, but a lot of people had, this is a momentous trade, especially if you held it 2 days. I think most got out that were happy with seeing 100 tested. Let's get to what's happening in the oil, because oil got slammed today. I guess there's hopes for some kind of peace deal with the Iranians. I'm taking a shot at it right here. It's kind of back to the breakdown and risking a couple bucks to see if really there is going to be a deal between President Trump. I brought up kind of a scenario that Feb 11th is the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Republic, and President Trump is our 47th president. So maybe something happens on that anniversary date or around that date. Sure, a lot of military equipment and naval buildups and everything around there. I hope they do reach a deal, and I'd be happy to lose money in crude for peace. Let's move over to what's happening in the S&Ps. Actually, they're rallying here. Keep in mind we had this full moon, so we were sharply lower at one point, So maybe they still have 7,100 in them. But to me, it's what's happening in the precious metals, and the dollar, I think, is not real bullish. NASDAQ doesn't look as strong, right? Look at the difference. So I'm not sure if NASDAQ has it in it for new highs. We'll see. Let's take a look at some of the components. So Apple uh, doesn't look so good to me. Looks like a bear flag. Tesla's getting hammered. Nvidia's down hard, $3.50. Uh, we have the mags selling off, breakdown at 62, and Broadcom is trying to hold major support here. Palantir went to try and break out, and now it's trying to negate the breakout. So looks like we might have one more rally left in the S&Ps. I did want to, before we left, talk about Bitcoin because for months you guys know that I haven't been calling the bottom as many have because I thought this confirmed low would mean that we were going to take out this low. Well, mission accomplished. We're getting a little bit of a reversal day here. I still might think about being patient because we don't have divergence here, but we do have two drives. Here's one confirmed. Here's the other one. It's not confirmed, but it's a divergence. Still think that we're going to 70, but there could be a three drive setup coming in here, maybe for at least a scalp. Um, I've been talking about cash is the most hated position on the board, that even when people sell things, they feel like they have to rotate into something else, and it's not illegal, especially in this environment, to just be a spectator instead of a speculator. So there are things that really aren't that tradable right now. You should be reducing leverage and trading with wider stops, or you're just going to get picked off all the time. So that's what I see. I'm not sure if there's anything else I really want to cover. Marijuana stocks. I don't know. You tell me. We're almost at a gap fill. Isn't that amazing from the announcement of reclassifying? Well, I want to know who is selling up here. I could guess. So we're also with crude lower, we're getting a pullback in some of these. Really, what's getting smashed is natural gas. So I'd be using this pullback in energy. Look at nat gas. It certainly is a widowmaker. Did anyone know? Anyone short a close like that? If they did, I'm going to surrender my title of Nostradamus, Nostrapinker to them. So see you in the room. Jose is going to put the link up on the live, and I still think that there's going to be some great trading, and that probably the biggest contrarian call is a bottom in the dollar. I think people will be selling it all the way up. I've already seen people wanting to sell it here. And, that's why you take partials. Keep an open mind. That means looking at both cases, both the bull and the bear case, right? Keep an open mind. It'll keep your account open. But more than that, don't just count your pips, count your blessings.